Welcome back to Baselines to Sidelines, where the podcast where we break down the game beyond the box score. If you love baseball analysis with a little edge, a little realism, and a lot of passion, you're in the right place. Today's episode is all about the World Baseball Classic, the games that have already given us a little taste of the tournament and the matchups that are still on the horizon. We'll look at the early storylines and the teams making noise and what fans should be watching as the tournament unfolds. I'll also take a closer look at the Colorado Rockies players who are representing their countries in the World Baseball Classic and what their participation means both for their teams and for the Rockies heading into the season. Then we get into the biggest talking points surrounding Team Japan, talking about Shohei Ohtani. He's already off to a hot start, no surprise for Team Japan. I am going to talk about Roki Sasaki because he's not on this team currently, and I'm going to dive into that as well. And then what all of this means for one of the most talented teams on the field. After that, we'll break down the absolutely star-studded roster of Team USA, which is loaded with MLB talent from top to bottom. And finally, I'll explain why Team USA so far, and starting out, what is the betting favorite to win the World Baseball Classic, and why I'm a little surprised that Japan isn't the betting favorite, given their history, especially being the defending World Baseball Classic champions. So whether you're following every pitch of the tournament or just trying to catch up on the biggest storylines, stick around. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. This is Baselines to Sidelines. All right, so starting off, let's talk about some of Team Japan. I mean, the Team Japan, Team USA, and the Dominican Republic all look just absolutely loaded with talent. You're talking about, I mean, Team USA is just loaded with talent, MLB wise. Team Japan, you could say the same thing, but they also have the NPB players as well, and that's just as loaded. So Team Japan looks amazing. So does the Dominican Republic. But let's talk about Team Japan first. I mean, they're off to a blitzing start. They absolutely trounced Chinese Taipei in the first pool game for Pool C, and then they also had a game. They also had a game against Australia. That one was a much closer game. Australia actually played really, really well. I was very happy to see um, how Australia played against a very loaded Japan team. I mean, Australia got 8 hits, no errors. They got 3 runs. They were right there. There were a couple of times I was listening to that game. There were a couple of times that if the ball bounces the other way, we're talking about Japan taking a loss here, which is, again, insane to think about because you have Otani, Suzuki, Yoshida, Okamoto, or Okamoto. You have Murakami, one of my favorite players. You got you've got a loaded Japan lineup that just has lethality after lethality. And then you also had one of the Rockies' rotational pitchers, um, Tomoyuki Sugano, who he went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs, and got 2 strikeouts. Like, this is just a loaded team, man. And I would really love to see. I think it's gonna be USA versus Japan again for the finals in the World Baseball Classic because you have two just star-studded teams. Now the one, I don't want to call them a dark horse because they're really not. But one of them nipping at the heels who just absolutely blitzed the Netherlands today, 12-1, is the Dominican Republic, who have Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then they also have, who's the player I'm blanking on? Oh, Ketel Marte. You got Machado. Like, that's probably the second most MLB loaded lineup outside of Team USA. You could make an argument between the Dominican Republic and Japan, but they're not going to be an easy out either. Once it comes down to elimination play, if Team USA wants to really be the dog that everybody says they are, they're going to have to go through one, if not both, of these teams. And that's not going to be an easy out. Especially with Team Japan, with their pitchers. You got Yamamoto, you got Sugano, you've got, gosh, why am I blanking on his name? And and this is coming from a guy who actually watches a little bit of NPB baseball. You got Sumida, you've got players on this team. You got a lot of players on Team Japan, and that pitching staff is just freaking killer. I would probably say Team Japan has the top pitching staff out of all of the World Baseball Classic teams. I think outside of the top three, which is USA, Japan, and the Dominican Republic, I would say the next best team is going to be, probably, just looking at this quickly, I can make an argument for Venezuela. Probably Venezuela or Italy. Though Team Mexico is star-studded as well. Absolutely star-studded. Korea has some talking points as well. Their game, 4 a.m. my time, so Mountain Time, they're going to be fun to watch against Australia, because Australia has some dogs on that team. So they're going to be ones to watch for sure. And I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, partially because I'm not even looking at my notes that I created, but this is just my favorite time of year. Not just time of year. This is my favorite time, is when the World Baseball Classic happens, which is every 3 years. It's just, you've got just teams that just have loaded lineups. Like, it's dream team after dream team when you look at countries when it comes to baseball lineups. You look at Team Mexico, you look at the Dominican Republic, you look at Japan, you look at USA, you look at Korea. Like, they've all got players. They've got dogs on that on each and every team, where you can say, put this team up against an average MLB team and they would smoke them. I should know that. Well, I wouldn't call the Rockies average right now. They're definitely below average. I should know because Team USA had an exhibition game, I call it the warm-up game, against the Colorado Rockies in spring training. Now, I'll give the Rockies credit. They held a lead going into the fifth inning, 4-3. and then the wheels fell off. Just absolutely beat the brakes off of them. But it's it's just so amazing to see. I think the only thing that would make this better is if Roki Sasaki was on Team Japan, but he is not. He was requested by the Dodgers. The Dodgers requested for him not to be in the selection of the Team Baseball Classic, so he was not granted the insurance to play in the World Baseball Classic. So you have I talked about it in another video where if you want to play in the World Baseball Classic, you have to get the insurance from the World Baseball Classic. And Roki Sasaki, because of the Dodgers, Roki Sasaki was not granted it after his relatively injury riddled season last year. So the Dodgers said, nope, you are not playing. And same thing is actually with Ohtani, just in a different sense. Shohei Ohtani is playing, but he is only playing as a DH. He is not pitching because he's a two-way player, but he is not pitching. He can only hit. His insurance clearly states to only hit, not to pitch. So, because I got a couple of people asking about that, but yeah, Ohtani is only going to be hitting, not pitching. So that's, but I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani. He's lighting it up already. He had that monster grand slam against Chinese Taipei. He had a pretty quiet game against Australia. He had 2 walks, no hits in 4 at bats. Like that's pretty. That is extremely quiet for Shohei Ohtani. Which I gotta give Team Australia, or 3 at bats, 2 walks. I've got to give Team Australia credit. They were not going to straight up pitch to them or pitch to him. They were going to have the Japan beat them with their other bats. They were not going to let. They absolutely were not going to let Shohei Ohtani beat them. Now, unfortunately for Team Australia, they still had Seiya Suzuki and Yoshida. And both of those lit up the scoreboard with, in 2 at-bats, Seiya Suzuki had an RBI. Oh, yeah. He had an RBI and 3 walks. So that didn't help. And then Yoshida, who was the player of the game, absolutely. In 3 at-bats, he had a run, 1 hit, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Or 1 walk and a strikeout. I can read, I swear. But, yeah, the Team Australia had a great game plan coming in. Absolutely had a great game plan coming into that game, but they just weren't able to close it out. And Japan, it just shows how loaded Japan is. It shows that even in tight games, they have those clutch players to come out and deal with a tight game. They have the pitching to get up there, get those outs, get the batters back out there, and finish off the game. It's just a really awesome, sorry, trying to find the words for this one. Japan just had a damn good game. Same with Australia. Japan just came out on top. Japan was able to take their chances and come out on top with them. And then going over to the Dominican Republic, I mean, what can you say? The Netherlands had no chance. Not even a single, really a chance. Fernando Tatis Jr. Had one at bat, 1 run, 3 walks. You had Ketel Marte, who got. You had Ketel Marte. Vlad Guerrero was like, he came out with his hair on fire in 4 at bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Machado, same thing. Julio Rodriguez, same thing. Like they came out with their hair on fire and they were going to stick it to the Netherlands, and they did. And yes, there is a mercy rule after, I think if you're up by 15 in the 5th, the game is over. And then if you're up by 10 in the 7th or later, game is over. And the Dominican Republic was able to accomplish that in the 7th. And that's also crucial because run differential matters in the World Baseball Classic. When you're talking about tiebreakers, run differential matters. So you want to run up, even if a team is blitzing somebody 8-1, go out and get more runs, because you don't want to be sitting there trying to get a seeding spot or an elimination spot, and the team you're fighting with has a run differential 2 better than you. So that's why you're seeing these bigger blowouts. I mean, also there are a bit weaker teams, i.e. Czechia. Czechia. Sorry, not Czechia. Czechia. They've been easily the worst, to the point where they are eliminated, they are out. And for the next World Baseball Classic in 2029, they're going to have to re-qualify to even have a shot at the World Baseball Classic, which opens the door for somebody else, which is going to be nice to see. But if Czechia wants back in, because of how bad their run differential and how bad their losses were, they're booted out. They're completely booted out of the World Baseball Classic, and they're going to have to re-qualify. Which, I don't know if I've ever seen that. Granted, I've only been hardcore watching the World Baseball Classic for the past 4 World Baseball Classics, but I can't think of a time where it was like that. So that's really interesting to see. And yeah, it's the teams. These are different teams right now with a lot. I'm mainly pointing to the main 3, but you also can't take away from Mexico or Venezuela. Even Team Canada has some players, but you've got Ezequiel Tovar on Venezuela. You've got Ronald Acuna. You've got Luis Ariz, Perez, Suarez. And Eugenio Suarez is just... He had a great game yesterday in 4 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a walk. He has a .500 batting average right now going in the World Baseball Classic. Luis Ariz is probably easily one of the best players out there. I mean, shoot, in 5 at bats, he got 4 hits, 5 RBIs. Like, Venezuela's lethal too. There's a lot of lethal teams out there, and I'm really interested to see how these players do. And actually, I'm glad I looked at this team because tying into my next topic is the Colorado Rockies players who are playing in the World Baseball Classic. You have Tomoyuki Sugano playing for Team Japan. You have Cole Carrick playing for Team Israel. Same with somebody else is on Team Israel. I forget who it is. Then you have Ezequiel Tovar in Venezuela. You have Antonio Senzatella. And then you also have Michael Lorenzen on Team Italy. And then I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? It's gonna like hit me in the face, I swear. Oh, I was thinking of Cole Carrick, but Cole Carrick I already mentioned. But so you have some good players who came from the Rockies, and looking at, I mean, Sugano had a phenomenal pitching outing for Team Japan against Australia. So he is one that I'm really excited for Tomoyuki Sugano. I talked about him in one of my previous episodes about just being a solid veteran piece to come in and not only guide these young players, but also bring in fresh talent from a pool that the Rockies just haven't explored yet, really at all in their entire history, which is Japan and Korea and China. The Rockies just have not gone out, really don't have much scouting out there. They've really never gone out there all that much to go look at these NPB players, to go look at the Korean League players. They are, and there's wealth of talent out there, wealth of talent. And there's chances to sign these guys. And the Rockies just haven't the Rockies haven't gone out there and done that, or gone out there and drafted these players. So the fact that, yes, Sugano came from the Orioles organization, but he's still a former NPB player. He's only technically 2 years removed from the NPB. So this is just amazing to see, and a player I'm really excited about. Another player I'm excited about, Michael Lorenzen, playing on Team Italy. Granted, he didn't have the greatest game for Team Italy. He definitely did struggle. I'm trying to look up his stats real quick. He definitely had his struggling moments for Team Italy. But I would like to see him get his pitches, better location on his pitches. His velocity is there. His stuff is there. It's just on breaking balls, they're not as lethal as they should be. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. So he is of a little bit of concern for me when it comes to Rockies players I'm looking at, but I'm not going to be sitting here freaking out right now. Now, come May, if these issues haven't been fixed, because he'll be back with the Rockies in a few weeks, but come May, when the regular season is already rolling, if these issues haven't been fixed, that's when I'm going to start to get concerned. So that's what I'm looking at out of Michael Lorenzen. Now, the player I'm pretty sure most Rockies fans have to be familiar with, because you have a Gold Glover in Ezequiel Tovar. He's having a relatively decent World Baseball Classic so far. And his defensive rating, I mean, he had a really nice leaping grab to seal the win against Team Israel. And I mean, he's going to be an absolutely studded defensive player for the Rockies. I just hope his bat has been a little quiet. I hope his bat comes around. It showed up against Team Israel with 3 hits and a walk. I would love to see an RBI, but can't 100% control that. But he's showing up. He's starting to show up, and I hope he can gain more of that traction so he can be that veteran leader in the clubhouse that, you have Jake McCarthy, you have you have Willie Castro, and Tovar fits right into that conversation. He's the longtime Rocky. He's the veteran Rocky outside of Kyle Freeland right now and Antonio Senzatella. So he's going to be one that not only are the Rockies going to be relying on hits out of, but they're going to be relying on leadership. And Tovar strikes me more of a lead through action than lead through words. And the action is going to be the play on the field. So I just really hope that he comes out and is a bit more of that Tovar that everybody recognizes. That's more what I'm looking at for the Colorado Rockies. I think this World Baseball Classic, there's a lot to gain from as far as watching, whether you're a Rockies fan, whether you're sorry if you see me if you're watching on YouTube, if you see me ducking out of frame or wiping, I'm battling a small head cold right now, I apologize. But if you, whether you're a Rockies fan or whether you're another fan, this is legitimate hardcore baseball. This is playoff baseball. So you want to see your favorite players, the players that are representing their countries from your team, you want to see them doing well. So Lorenz and I do have some concerns, but Sagano, Tovar, I haven't looked at Senzatella's stats today, but it's looking good. There's hope. It's the most tiniest bit of hope, but there is hope being seen from this play. And I just hope it continues. I mean, there's definitely hope for the Rockies. I'll do a spring training breakdown next episode, which for the listeners and for viewers, Next episode's going to be different because I'm going to be on vacation, so I'll be at a different location. So we'll see how that goes. But and I'm also testing out a new mic. It'll be more of a lav mic, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how the Rockies players keep performing in the World Baseball Classic, and I just hope it continues. Now, speaking of players performing, let's get into my final piece, which is going to be Klayton Kershaw. Team USA has not seen Klayton Kershaw yet. Klayton Kershaw, for those of you that don't know, which I'd be slightly surprised, Klayton Kershaw retired from the Dodgers last year. And so he is essentially a retired player playing on Team USA. I'm very curious to see how he plays and when they're going to play him. It sounds like it's going to be more of a bullpen role. It's not going to be a starter role. My guess it's almost going to be it's going to be one of those, I can't find the words for it, but based off of what I've been reading and what I've been hearing is he's going to come in when the game is pretty much in hand. So, 7th, 8th inning, Team USA's up by 9, 10 runs. Well, it would probably have to be 9 runs, maybe even 10 runs. And just get him that World Baseball Classic, feeling and the nostalgia, which is nothing wrong. I mean, Klayton Kershaw, a hell of a player, tormented the Rockies for a long time. The Rockies actually have decent numbers against him. I know there were a couple of games I remember the Rockies just absolutely plunked Klayton Kershaw. But he's also still a lethal pitcher. And I'm really excited to see whenever Klayton Kershaw gets out there for Team USA. And I really hope he's kind of shows that Klayton Kershaw of old. But he's one of my favorite non-Rockies pitchers. He was actually, when I was trying to pitch, he was actually the one that I emulated his curveball. There was a video breakdown that came out about how he grips his curveball, and that's how I started gripping my curveball after him. So I as much as of a thorn in the side he was to the Rockies, he was always that player that I tried to emulate a lot. So I hope to see him out there. I can't wait to see him out there, and I just can't wait to see Team USA play tomorrow. I know that when I get to my vacation spot, that'll be right when Team USA is about to have first pitch. So hopefully I can get to the room in time and watch the game. But I think this is going to wrap it up here. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to do more World Baseball Classic breakdown, and I'm going to talk about more of the Rockies' expectations, more of Rockies' spring training. I'm even going to talk about just the MLB season in general, who I'm looking at, who are the favorites, who are my favorites for batting title, MVP, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove. I'm going to kind of do a breakdown of that either next episode or the episode after. We'll see, depending on how my vacation is going. So this has been a lot of fun talking about the incredible starts from Team USA, Team Japan, Dominican Republic, talking about just a lot of this just exciting time right now. This is playoff baseball before the MLB season has started. It's just amazing. And it was fun talking about the Colorado Rockies players who are representing their countries and what excitement I have for them coming into the regular season for Colorado. So I hope you guys had fun. If you love baseball analysis with a little edge, a little realism, and a lot of passion, you're in the right place. So please like, please subscribe, follow my Twitter. My Twitter's down below in the description. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Until next time, I'm your host, Nick. This is Baselines to Sidelines.